Hey, hey everyone. So I figured I'd make today really light. This is probably gonna be my last video of the year. Not forever though, because you know, I'm still trying to get that YouTube money. I also wanted to apologize about my voice. It's the winter season. I think I'm starting to catch a cold. Hopefully it's a fluke, but I will be breathing through my mouth more than usual today. Which is great because the topic of today's conversation is how to thread your mustache. So we will be up close and personal to my mouth. I'm gonna take my string. I like to make it maybe like about a foot. And honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, this is my second try doing this because I haven't done this in a while, but I promise you I've been doing this for years. Like, this isn't my first rodeo. From what I've learned is that it's easier to kind of control if it's a little bit shorter. So I have tiny hands, therefore tiny string. I've already tied a knot at the end, you can see. And what I like to do is I like to keep a little bowl of water with me. Like, I'm just gonna dip my finger in it and coat the string. And once it dries up, like, I can just reapply. Like, the water kind of helps the string grab onto the hairs better. They do have specific thread for removing facial hair, and it's like waxed thread. You can actually like purchase it online. I didn't because I didn't want to wait for shipping and handling, and like literally like this spool of thread cost me $1 at like Walmart or something. So you know, if you want to get specialty thread you can, but you can do the same job without it. We've coated the thread. Now we're going to twist. I would twist like maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 times. As much, like, honestly, it just doesn't matter. So what you want is to get this action. What happens is that the hairs get caught in here. It just like mows it down and like takes it out. With the upper lip, you can kind of just go ham. With the eyebrows, you have to be a lot more specific because you obviously don't want to, you know, remove all of your eyebrows. So I'm gonna show you the movement. We're gonna go onto my upper lip and move this up. See, it already got, like, the hairs got caught in it and then it just pops right out. I'm gonna bring you a little bit closer so we can get some action here. You want the skin nice and taut like this. Some people do this. I go against the grain. I think it's easier that way. So you kind of want to get used to the motion of like moving this. And if your thread gets a little bit dry, like, you could go ahead and like kind of untwist it and then reapply some water. Sometimes if you go a little too fast in untwisting, it gets knotted up, but you can always like cut yourself another piece of string, or like sometimes it just unknots itself. So I pretty much removed everything I wanted to remove in my upper lip. So we're gonna move on to the harder part, which is the eyebrows. I like to keep a spoolie in hand with me when I'm doing this so I can kind of figure out the shape that I want. Yeah, so I just run it through and kind of gauge like what hairs I want to remove. I tend to remove this like area of hair, and then I clean up at the bottom right here, and then I kind of go in a straight movement down here. Let me demonstrate that. So with this, you kind of want to create a line with this bottom half. Oh, it broke.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Also, another pro tip, double tie it. My camera stopped recording as I started doing my eyebrows, but essentially you want to follow the line. You see how this is like a nice clean line? There was hair like above it before. So what you wanted to do is you wanted to follow that line like at the angle you want, and then run it through, and the thread will follow this bottom line and get all of the hairs that are caught like in the line of fire. So I'm gonna show you right here. You see how I've created a line right here? You just follow it. So I kind of want to make this more angular. So I'm gonna bring those in and run it through. That's pretty much all you gotta do. I like to start at the top and then work my way at the bottom. It's kind of the same thing, but I would be more careful with the bottom. Just follow a line that you want and then kind of shake off whatever hairs you don't want to get caught, and you'll run it through. Sometimes you have to do it a couple times. So I kind of have that tail that I want. Now I'm just gonna go in right here and get rid of that hair. So if you do it a little too slow, the hairs will end up curling, but I don't mind that too much because it's easier to get caught in the thread. And then just run it through. See, you can see that this curled up a little bit, but it's easier to grab onto now that it's curly, and it kind of just helps me figure out which hairs I want to remove. At this point, you got to do this bottom part. So I go from the top up and kind of shimmy my way down, and then everything that's getting caught is going to be in the line of fire. At this point, I'm like reevaluating how I want my eyebrows to be shaped. Like, they don't have to be like perfect. Remember that eyebrows are sisters, not twins. But at this point, they're looking like cousins. So I'm going to take off some of this to kind of match this. I'm just gonna clean up like my unibrow. I don't get a huge unibrow or anything, but I do like to like take off a couple of the hairs. And yep, that's how you thread your eyebrows. So after I thread, I don't typically wear makeup afterwards. I just don't want to get foundation or anything like caught in like the open follicles. So I hope that was helpful. Really bummed that the footage didn't show, but this is how I did my eyebrows. If you're just starting off, I would have a pair of tweezers handy. Some hairs are just like a lot thicker than others, and it's just harder, and they're like just but yeah, I would keep a pair of tweezers on hand. I hope y'all enjoyed and that it was helpful, and please like, subscribe, and I don't know, comment down below and tell me what I've done wrong, and I don't know. All right, bye everyone.